'Twas a 10-goal win to polish off round 16 as the Hawks come back from the bye. And if there was any doubt, any hope, any fear of some sluggishness, it did not come through over a very good four-quarter performance. This is your Talking Hawks post-game live stream show. My name is Daz. The next voice you're going to hear belongs to Lauren. We got a percentage boost, a win away from home, some injuries, a drop kick. We had it all, yet I never want to watch it again. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree. It was a little tough, especially in that first half. But yeah, good to get the win. Thought it might have been a little bit of a danger game coming into it with West Coast getting basically their full squad back. But yeah, just completely ran over the top of them. And nice little percentage boost. Wish it could have been more. We're just sitting behind Melbourne on the ladder, same points, but just 1 or 2% behind, I think, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, good win, but yeah, maybe not one to watch back besides that third quarter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't reckon it'll be, I don't even think it's mini-worthy, KO mini-worthy. We can just park it and we can just go, you know what, that. It happened. The score is immense. Our percentage went up a full 5 points. We get on the plane, we go to the Cattery, and we hope that a couple of our injured boys, especially in that leadership group, are A-OK. We're going to talk about them a little bit later on. But we managed to silence the crowd. And look, I'll give West Coast some credit here. On field, they were horrible. Coach's box, they were terrible. For 48,000 fans to still rock up. And yes, it was fantastic of the Hawthorn faithful, either in WA or that flew over to rock up, to be going as bad as West Coast have in the last couple of years. To have 48,000 show up, especially after the 92 we had for Dusty's 300th game. The Hawks are performing in front of hostile away crowds, which I'm still going to count the Richmond one as so. It's just another tick in the Sam Mitchell Premiership success checklist.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely were getting into it as they normally do, the crowd at Optus Stadium. But yeah, really good to show up. I mean, they hadn't, a lot of those boys had no experience in front of crowds over 40,000. So yeah, to see them do that last week and against West Coast as well. Oh, sorry, 2 weeks ago. Forgot about the bye. But yeah, to do it against Richmond and West Coast, some of the most hostile crowds in the league, it's pretty good to just show up and get the job done and not worry about who's in the audience yelling at you across the fence.
I don't think it mattered to a few of them. We wanted to keep them quiet. We got the shush celebrations out, which I'm a massive fan of. But no, I'm totally with it. As long as we're not getting I know this is an NBA reference, as long as we're getting no malice at the Palace 2.0, especially at the footy, we're good, we're golden. Let us be hated. Unsociable Hawks doesn't mean it has to be physicality on the field. Everyone being angry at us for being good, unsociably, I can live with that in a massive way.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see those opposition supporters angry at us again. A lot of Geelong supporters wanting West Coast to get the win today. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one next week, that's for sure.
And who would have thought, so 0-5, 8-7 now, and who would have thought that our frustration at this round were the good teams that couldn't win? Freo winning doesn't help our premiership surge. St Kilda, 2 points away from Port. Max King at this point looks like a potato with legs. He couldn't help us. He couldn't help us with the Port Adelaide situation. As we said, Freo won the North. If they could learn to kick inside 50, that would have really helped us. If they could have knocked off the Dogs or watched all of that game, really could have helped. We got no favours with the wins this week. The tipping is a nightmare at this point in time. So this isn't really a topic we go down the path of. How did your tips go this week? And did you tip the Hawks in any kind of comp that you're in?
Yeah, definitely tipped the Hawks this week. This has kind of been the first time.
Doing better than me.
Oh, Daz, that's pretty poor.
Yeah, that's it wasn't good poor. By me.
Yeah, I think I got a couple, but missed quite a few. Like, got Port and a few others, but yeah, definitely tipped Hawthorn. But as I said, first time in a while, actually. Yeah, 5 out of 9 for me this week. Not too bad, but not amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking. I was looking at my ESPN app before. Don't know if that's how you operate with your tips as well. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at 6, going pat on the back for me until I looked at the fact that I didn't tip the Hawks and I picked St Kilda. And if they're not two of the biggest mistakes you can make in a one evening period, it's, goodness gracious me, this yeah. I went 6 for 6 in the last 2 rounds of the buys, and I thought I'll just stick to 6 for now. That's where we're at and where we're going. So, Craigo, shout out to you, mate. Just coming home from Optus. What a win. Marbior, he just takes them two-handed, one-handed. The laconic approach to goal probably doesn't work as well around the corner, but he looked one of the safest guys from a set shot, Marbior, and this is coming from a team that doesn't really like doing set shots the easy way. Hello to the Smalls if they're listening.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's definitely one that when he's going for a shot about 30, 40 out, he's a pretty safe guy to slot those ones. So it's really good, as you said, over the last few weeks where it's been a little bit iffy from a lot of our best players. But it's great to see Chol just growing into the season. He looks so good. He's the mainstay of that forward line now. And can't wait to see how the rest of the year goes for him because he's just getting better and better.
And I thought it would be reasonably difficult to have a Mitch Lewis discussion. Unfortunately, it looks like straight back in for Kolsha Dia, the rib injury. Hope, fingers crossed, nothing is broken. But what we do know for sure, I believe, is that with he and Jasper Scaife in the VFL kicked 2 goals, 1 over the weekend. If we had said in March that the weakness on the ground would be goal kicking and not our tools, I think we would have laughed. But that's genuinely where we're at the moment, which is a very terrifically strange place to be.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's been an issue for the last couple of weeks, hasn't it? But yeah, it's good that the forward line's still working well together. I think hopefully for Deer, the club did announce that it was tactical, so potentially could have gone back out there. So hopefully not any weeks out or anything for poor Kalsha. But yeah, it looks like Mitch Lewis will be in for him, which was that conversation that we had last week, but made sense to keep Lewis at at VFL level for one more week while the boys took the long flight over to Perth.
And as we saw, if you're not obviously at the ground, if you watched it on TV, we ain't risking him on that turf. Optus Stadium looks, what's a PG way of saying something that starts with SF? Not up to par? Should we go with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Let me tell you, if your football stadium looks like my golf game, you have stuffed up. Let me tell you. My goodness me.
Yeah, there was a good 6 injuries or sore players from both sides there today. So I know a few of them were bumps and stuff, but can't be all coincidence. Even some of the blokes that play on West Coast say the Oval's just not up to it at the moment. So yeah, not our problem anymore, thankfully, since that was our only trip up there this year. So, but yeah, good luck to all of those West Coast and Freo boys that got to play there a few more times.
Yeah, we're not going to wish injuries or anything like that, but we hope that everyone is okay. Darren had it up before. Midfield outstanding. Let's show some love. I drove through Poowong this afternoon, and I remarked that we were at the Prince's Kingdom at this point in time, of which my very non-Hawthorn supporting missus asked me, "What's wrong with you?" And I got to, and this was one of the highlights of my day, I got to explain the law of John Newcomb for 15 minutes, which, great for me. I think poor girl wanted to army roll out of the car, but that's all right. But we got through it. It was outstanding. It was Big Jai as well as Jimmy and Will.
Yeah, it was a good day for our entire midfield. Don't know if we've seen this year in any of the games where all 3 or 4, including Nash, have stood up and really stood out. And yet all of them were on today. I mean, Newcomb, as per, was really good. Warple had a little bit of return to form. Not that he was going terribly, but we know he started the year really hot. And now today was another really nice game from him.
It really was. Lloyd Meek getting some love, which we love to see. It's going to be Meek Monday tomorrow. And let me tell you.
Deservedly so.
The Triple M across the board, Meek, McDonald and Moore were just incredibly good.
And Marbior.
And Marbior. Oh, look at us go. We got 4 M's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just absolutely dominated Flynn before he got injured and BJ Williams as well. So, yeah, complete cleanup from him. And I think wouldn't be surprised if he's featured in my votes because he was just dominant and slotting that goal as well, which was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Brooke, to answer your question, no.
No.
To the first bit, he's not holding Mitch out. He'll come back, and I think Deer will miss.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Which comes from a very instinctual, non-medical background. But hey, if we've learned anything in the last half decade, having a medical background doesn't mean nothing. So, okay. Well, I didn't want to bring this up, but you guys keep bringing it up. I've ignored it 3 or 4 times. Let's talk about Nick Watson, because this storyline is starting to annoy me, because he went to Box Hill, kicked, I think it was 8 goals in 3 games, earned his way back, was involved in everything. Yes, the goal kicking's a problem. He's not going to fix that overnight. We're kind of at Lindsay Thomas levels. I'm with you. But how we're looking at just the finishing and not the work rate, the pressure, the forward half dominance, the energy that he brings, how we think he's droppable for what he did today, to me, is, to quote Ross Lyon, fingertip deep analysis. This kid's going to be a star. He's going to be fine. He's not going to work through it at Box Hill. It's a mental thing. He'll fix it, and he needs to fix it in the ones. Fixing it at Box Hill ain't going to do jack.
Yeah.
He'll be right. He'll kick the first couple early. It'll be like, hopefully against Geelong would be handy, but I can just see him going down to Tassie or something against Freo. Kicks 4 in the first quarter. We never talk about this again. He'll be right.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely all mental for him. And, the one blight on his game is the kicking. There's a lot of things that can't be worked out that you would put on for a draftee and say, oh, is he going to work out? But kicking's not one of them. That comes with time, and that comes with, the mental ability to, just calm down and go back and take the set shot, which for some people doesn't come easily. And I know it wouldn't for me, regardless of if you're in front of 40,000 or 2,000. It's hard to, get your mentality right to slot some of those goals. So, yeah, I think the Watson stuff is a bit of a, there's no way like he's getting dropped. He does too many things else besides, those kicking those goals. So he's, tackling, laying so much pressure. Like he's just so fast. He can get to any player. And if you're running down the wing and Watto's running up behind you, I'd be pretty scared. So
there'd be a few Hawks I'd be terrified of if they were chasing me. And he is definitely on that list. It's just the muscle memory of running out to the right is the problem. But again, it's not going to be fixed in 2 seconds. But we'll be right. Alrighty, where are we at? Because I kind of lost my way here. Kerry, hello to you. You're going to be my point at getting back on track here. Here we go. Chol, our best forward this year for me by a mile. And this isn't to you, Jambo. This is my little jab at those. But I thought he was lazy. I thought he didn't do anything. What are we What are we thinking? Are we finally admitting we're wrong on Marby or Chol? Exactly. I won't send you my real address, but I'll buy a PO box where you can send me the apologies to all of those out there, because he's a star.
Yeah.
We love Mabs.
I think, Charles just been so good. I think maybe Dylan Moore would want to have a say in our best. Oh, here we go. Right on time, Fred. Dylan Moore would want to have a say for maybe our best forward this year. But just love definitely our best tall for sure.
So the rivalry at the moment between Liam and I for Dylan Moore. Now, it's kind of Boston, Philadelphia in the NBA, in which case it's Liam thinks it's a rivalry. I just know that I'm right. And that is that Dylan Moore is my man. And I'm telling you, if the season stopped today, he's wearing the medal. He's our best and fairest winner right now, and you will not change my mind. My man is absolutely dominating, and shout out to former Talking Hawks alumni Smithy, who I needed Dylan Moore to pick up 28 Supercoach points in that last quarter to pip him head-to-head. And then Dilsa just went, don't worry about 28 days. I've got you covered for 36, my friend. So if there's ever a reason I need to love this man, it just keeps getting better and better. What a star he is.
Yeah, definitely. He just tries his heart out. And I think, definitely is going to be up there for the PCM, like first or second, I think is basically a lock at this point, as long as he stays on the ground. And yes, potentially we've got a comment just coming in about all Australian. I mean,
Has to.
He
He's the best
has-
half forward in the comp.
I think, yeah, there's a few saying like Stengel, and it just does my head in. It's you
Not
just
a
know
half
they
forward.
haven't. Yeah, you just know that they haven't watched any of like Hawthorn games to be saying anyone but Dill, and I think he's got to be in the squad, and hopefully he can slot into that final team. That would be awesome.
If he isn't, and I'm telling you right now, if Dylan Moore could do his knee tomorrow, he will not. I did not bring that to the universe. No one said that. He's still in the team. There is no... If we want to play blokes in position, and the All-Australian selectors proved it last year, but this is the AFL. When they get it right once, the next 8 times will be wrong. But so we'll put that into perspective. If he's not on a half-forward flank, we're protesting. I'll do it from Gippsland. I'll walk. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, we're absolutely storming AFL headquarters for sure. Yeah, he's just too good to be left out of stuff like that. And, there's a few others potentially on the rise for Hawthorn in that All-Australian contention, but he's the one that should be a lock, and we would love, we'd love a player in there this year. So if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be him.
I remember having a chat to someone that I work with who was an Essendon fan. I know this isn't an Essendon pod, but the discussion was, is there are blokes that you watch that just make you smile every time they go near the footy? And he gave his examples as an Essendon fan. And obviously we had Cyril and all the names you can think of that we just used to giggle when they get the footy. I think my nomination for this current team is Josh Weddle, is that every time he gets the footy, something funny is going to happen. And it's usually something good. That's why we like it so much, and that's why he's a star. But in terms of the happiest you feel when a bloke gets the footy, because he takes off and his legs go quicker than his brain does. And it's elite. It's excellent, because it'll eventually catch up and good things happen. Every time he gets the footy, I nearly start laughing in a very complimentary way. Josh?
Yeah.
I promise you.
He's looking so good. Like, just seeing him run off that half back line, it always, as you said, it always ends up being something. Most of the time it's good. Sometimes it might be the old shank, but you know what? It's just great to see him move through the ground so nicely and so quickly that he's just leaving 4 or 5 opposition players in his wake.
And I'll tell you what he does do. If he does turn the ball over, which is very rare, he actually runs back defensively as well. I want to hopefully try and find the clip in that third quarter. Anyway, Riley, you bring up an excellent point. And if anyone at any point was wondering why we got Gunners back, read those last 3 words from Riley on screen there, and there is your answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, even if he's not kicking goals, he's finding ways to set them up. So that's all we need from him. And sometimes he looks a little bit slow out there, or maybe got the turning circle of the Queen Mary sometimes, but he's just absolutely like so smart. And we know it's not just even on-field smarts, it's off-field smarts as well. And
let's be honest, for all of the celebration, the jubilation, and look, perhaps you want to call it immaturity, good luck to you. I think it's hilarious. You still need a dad down there just to make sure everything's chill. And Jack does that beautifully, of just, all right, guys, the ball's going back to the middle. Let's still stand next to your opponent. We can celebrate next time. I'm with it. I love it in a massive way with what Jack brings to the table, because he wears that number 19 beautifully, because he doesn't celebrate anything. I don't reckon since he kicked that goal on his left foot in the 2015 grand final, I don't reckon he's celebrated since. Come on, Jack.
I know. But it's good to have someone there just, calming everyone down, making sure they're not getting too ahead of themselves.
Dominique brings up a really good point, and here's my sort of question that I want to float to the group. Why wouldn't we be let alone can we beat them? Why wouldn't we be favourite here? Geelong have won 2 of their last 8. They only beat the Bombers, and you might think, well, we lost to the Bombers. Yeah, but remember, that was a round 1, and let's be honest, there is no better round 1 team in the comp than Essendon, because they've got to give their fans false hope at some point. So let's start the year off well. We kicked in accurately. We are playing that well. Not can we beat them. I would be disappointed if we didn't. I don't care that it's at the Cattery. We've played well on small grounds, Marvel, Tassie, etc. Yeah,
I think... it's going to be a tricky one. There's so much emotion behind it, isn't there? So I never feel confident going into a Geelong game, because they can always go either way. But I'm never feeling like we're going to definitely lose as well going into those Geelong games. So I think they will be favourites just because of that win against Essendon and because it's down there. But as you said, we've been going good on small grounds and they haven't been going that amazingly there at GMHBA this year. So we should be too fast for them, really. So, yeah.
No one scares me in that midfield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They played Tom Stewart there. Tom Stewart through there last time. So, on Sunday or whenever they played against Essendon. But yeah, so it's going to be. We should get that midfield dominance, and Hawkins is out, who normally goes pretty well against us. So they've just got Cameron and maybe Gary Rowan down there as their tall threats. So on paper, we really should be better than them, but they're always close. They're always close.
You know he's going to be the happiest bloke in the world if Tom Stewart's playing midfield, and that's Marby or Chol. You're telling me he only has to fly over just his opponent? Okay, cool. You let us know how that goes. Sam de Koning's going to play ruck, so who's going to put body pressure on him? Jack Henry? Sure. Can't wait to see how that goes. Stefan, you bring up a really good point here. The switch of play from Sicily. I'm telling you, if there's a better bloke in the last 10 years at 55-metre passes, yes, you might think of guys that can put it into space, your 20, your 25-metre operators. 55 metres away, there is none better in this competition than our skipper. Yeah.
He's so good. It's weird that we didn't see much of that from the start of the year from him when he was having a little bit of a down passage of time. But yeah, he's absolutely come back in style with those kicks, and so good seeing the ball in his hands. And I don't know if we've talked much about his injury, but yeah, let's hope that it's just the rest up for the rest of the week and come out against Geelong next week, because it would be great to have him, and it'll be really rough to miss him, I think.
Yeah, well, if they opt for surgery, of course, that's going to be the end of the season. And of course, if they want to manage him through, he should be okay, barring no fresh ligaments have been damaged that were damaged from his dislocated shoulder. So, again, fingers crossed. He didn't seem distraught on the bench, which was good.
No,
someone that probably overanalyzes body language, but I'm thinking more positively than not at this point. But that surgery decision is not going to be made on the bench at Optus Stadium.
Yeah, I think he did say in the after game chat, if you saw that he could have come back on potentially if they had have kicked the first two and made it a bit closer. So good to rest him for the rest of the game. And we know he missed that week after he popped it out against St Kilda. But yeah, I reckon, as you said, as long as there's no, with my limited physio knowledge, but hopefully if there's no other, ligaments or things that have been injured, he should be good to go. But I think this will be a type where maybe we play Richmond and then North in the last two games of the year. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe he gets sent for surgery before the Richmond or that North game. And
miss finals?
Oh, yeah. Okay, true. I forgot
Come on,
about
Lauren,
that.
what are we doing here? You just keep kicking the captain out before September action. Come on, we're better than this.
Yeah, okay, true. I forgot about that.
Can't believe what I've heard.
If we're finals contentions, obviously they're not going to do that. But if we look like we can't get in, well, then maybe I think it might be good to send him off a week early.
Yeah, okay. Fair. All right. Riley wants to give some love to Connor McDonald. I think we should absolutely. I feel sorry for Connor Mack a little bit, because if we didn't have the best half forward in the comp on the other half forward flank, we'd be talking about this guy as probably a top 6 to 8 half forward flank with performances like today.
Yeah, C-Mac's just grown into the season really nicely as well, like a lot of our players. And he always seems to start the game a little bit fumbly, but yeah, just absolutely gets into it by that second and third quarter and really puts elite pressure on in that forward line, and great kick and great game awareness as well.
Yeah, for sure. Michael, I'm not putting a bloke who's less than 180 centimetres near any centre bounce. Personally, the Wizard, he's just going to be a pain in the backside for 12 to 14 years, I reckon.
Definitely.
For the opposition. Craigo, giving some love to Carl Amon.
Yeah, one that goes...
Rightly so.
Yeah, one that probably just goes underrated because he does his job week in, week out. But yeah, working really nicely down off that half back line. Loving what he's doing. Another one of our great kicks down there. So it's just going very well this season. Another one that I think will probably be pretty high in that PCM because he just, as I said, does his job week in, week out.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Alrighty, Tom. I did mean to say the width being the 140. I know that Utah's is about, I think it's 168 long. So yes, slip of the tongue by me. I appreciate the correction. In regard, shut down Danger. I mean, Danger's 41 and built like a beer keg. He ain't killing us, I promise you.
I think we've got Nash and Nuke to stick with Danger.
Yeah,
I back them in.
Yeah, for sure. Jam, a lot of love for Harry Morrison coming through, rightly so. 40% game time, had 16 disposals.
Yeah.
And look, let's be honest, he was playing on witches' hats, but you still got to find the footy and a massive tick as the sub. Can't do much more than that, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, really, really nice sub. I think that was one of our few really good decisions for this sub over this year. So yeah, just beautiful. Came on, even though having Kelsha come off, you thought that might have messed with our forward line a little bit, but not, just slotted onto that wing very nicely. And he's really quite composed under pressure, being one of those senior players, even though he's only played 50 or so games.
And let's go down the predictive path. If Bruce is fit and one of them has to be sub, who's your sub against Geelong? Bruce or Morrison?
Yeah, Morrison for me. Even though Morrison went really well, I just love seeing Brucey out there. Maybe we can, if Brucey's having maybe not as much impact as he wants, maybe we can sub him off tactically. But I think I just love seeing Brucey out there. But maybe that's a little bit of bias in me.
Yeah, I think so. Riley brings up a really good point here. In terms of the last 8 weeks, we are on top of the form ladder. Number 1 in the comp. Thanks, Freo. Appreciate you knocking off the Swans.
Yeah, actually, Freo did a really nice job to make sure that we could come on here and say we were the informed team. It's great to see. Been saying it to some Carlton fans that are not too happy with it, but the stats are there. The stats prove that, yeah, it's definitely the Hawks at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of the VFL boys getting some love here too. My man Henry Hustwaite, 34 disposals. It's something like 11 tackles as well, which is extraordinary. A test, or rest, sorry, for Colshy. I think so. For Lewis to come in, I couldn't agree with you more there, Troy. We're pretty much on the same page. Alrighty, what do we got going on here? We got half a frozen screen here. Assume the shoulder was strapped before the game. A fair call. The sleeves don't tell us a lot, but it would be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah,
Kerry,
sure
I'm with you then. And tell you what, Crago is coming to the fore tonight. Jack Scrimshaw did not lose a one-on-one for the day. Only one other Hawk did not lose a one-on-one for the entire day. Jack Scrimshaw, one of them. If there was ever like an underrated All-Australian team, can we just slot Jack Scrimshaw in as the most undersized centre halfback?
Yeah,
that's something we can do. I feel like we should do that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's so good. Like, just absolutely wrapped for him that he can have this type of year after a disappointing 2023 season. Just set and forget in the team every single week, playing undersized week in, week out. And just showing up and doing his job and going above and beyond expectations for sure.
The other Hawk not to lose a one-on-one today, Lauren. Want to have a crack at who it was?
Massimo.
Dylan Moore.
Of course.
The great man himself. Tommy, I'll shoot you through the 20 I owe you for saying that. Appreciate it. Fred's a massive fan of Scrim. How could we not be? And then Peter bringing up an overarching brilliant point here. All of our high half forwards are elite with Guinea, C-Mac, and obviously more. Absolutely. Jack Ginnivan's work rate is something that, and I understand more what he was saying after the departure from Collingwood of being like, at Hawthorn he gets to be more free. Didn't know he had this kind of tank. He's in the back pocket in big patches.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been working very hard in that off season to get his tank up to standard and above standard for sure. Like he's just everywhere. Like keeping pace with CMAC and stuff, who are some of the best runners at the club. So just doing a great job. And even though he's maybe not hitting the scoreboard as much, that's also because his kicking's been a little bit iffy. But he's just been so influential, and he really does have those footy smarts that he can find little handballs here and there to get us going.
Seeing him down there so often, I'm thinking, Jesus, James Sicily got shorter. What's going on? Oh, no, it's not him. Fair. Jeb, I'm going to be honest with you. My formative teenage years were spent watching that Hawks dynasty. I do not remember Paul Puopolo being at one centre bounce at an important point of any game. So, if you can find it, I'll happily concede. I do not remember Poppy being a centre bounce attendee. Cyril, Bruce, absolutely. Poppy, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I do not remember in the slightest. Josh, I think our coaches are smarter than a jinx, to be honest. He's not kicking 5-6 on 1 foot and making Eddie Maguire forget the commentators have got to be impartial. He's aging. He was okay. Jack Bowes and Ollie Dempsey were really good for the Cats. I still think they are more dangerous than Danger would be at this. 96 games for Harry. Well, that just tells me we're going to give him 4 more and hope he has a kid, because we're not having another bloody Noah Anderson scenario. I'll give you the tip.
Yeah, I think I might have said 50. Did mean 100, but he's gone. He's gone a little bit under the radar with that 100th coming up. He could, definitely on track to get that this year potentially if he keeps getting a game.
Yeah, taking a little while for Harry too. Made his debut in that last game of 2017 when Hodgie, well, we can't really say retired anymore, can we?
No.
You go back to Brisbane. What do we call it? Yeah. Left? With Matty Boyd and Rob Murphy. Come on, Hodgie, you're better than that. Can we ever play Lewis and Deer in the same team? Yes.
Yes.
Deer flies at everything. That's yes. Lewis out of the square, Charles at a traditional centre half forward, and Colsha Deer's your third tall. Absolutely, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Sam. Please, mate. And I like the defensive work that Colsha can do. Call me crazy. We could have Gunners in there as well.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see that get rolled through at some point this year. It would have to be in dry day, that's for sure.
Yes, very much so. But if we can play, I think it was Denver, Brandon Ryan, and Cozzy, I think it was, in the same forward line at a game against Tassie, I can live with Mitch Lewis, Marby or Chol, Colsha Deer, and Jack Gunston being in the same team. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jambo, not 100% sure I agree with this for a couple of reasons. Because he has been a more traditional key position defender, I still think there are some that have gone a little bit better. But I do love him. Love him in a big way. Glenn, we've spoken about Mitch Lewis for Colsha Deer. We're pretty much all on the same page there that we think that is going to happen. So, as we continually make our way down, God, I love it when you guys make my life difficult on these live streams. Keeps me on my toes, which we like. Any news about the Chad? Not that we know of in terms of limited game time. Still a couple of weeks away, we think. So, that is okay. And I say this with all due respect. Who would come out? Let's say he's available this week. I don't think I'm dropping anyone for him, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't think you can really at this point. Maybe if one of our forwards has, like someone like Watson has a couple down games where he doesn't get many touches, then maybe that's when Wingard gets a chance. But yeah, it's been interesting because not caught up on that news because he obviously didn't play at Box Hill. So still managing something, I would assume.
Yeah, I think so. I've been thinking about this, Jacob. You bring it up at a really good time. Who comes in? I would have said Ethan Phillips, but I don't think he was that great at Box Hill last week or over the weekend. How many more chances does Jai Sarong get? I think
it has to be Sarong because he's been doing a little bit better than Phillips. Yeah, so. Denver's another one, but I think out of those three, the Yeah, I think Sarong's been playing the best, getting a lot of marks at Box Hill.
I think so. Glenn, I'm going to turn your comment into a question for Lauren here. If you had to pick it right now, Peter Crimmon's medal was tomorrow night. Where does Scrim finish? Don't give me a range. Try and be as specific as possible. We've got some splinter lovers at Talking Hawks. We're not going to be part of that crew. We love all the contributors, but we don't like sitting on the fence here.
Third, I think.
I had the exact same thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, yeah, third.
Alrighty. Well, that was a boring discussion. Awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, we agreed.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Riley, thanks for Port for Amon. Well, he was a free agent, so I'm going to kind of slide that maybe away from the discussion a bit. Yeah, thank you, Essendon, for giving up Mass for nothing. Lloyd Meek for the Jaeger O'Meara trade. Thank you very much. And Gold Coast for Scrim, which I think was a fourth from memory.
Don't remember.
Appreciate it. Yeah, big way.
I know, so good.
I
that
appreciate that in a
team.
massive way. Absolutely. It seemed like a while since the ladder looked like it does at the moment. Yeah, because we finally got rid of the worst buy system in professional sport. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, so
anyway,
silly.
Don't get me started. How good was CJ today? I'll put my hand up. I may have been a little bit of a CJ doubter at the start of the year. I have converted. I love him as a man, CJ. But the way he patrols that wing, how tough he is in the contest and his body positioning, 10 out of 10. CJ owns a wing.
Yeah, CJ, I said after the first quarter, this is already his best game for the year. Really quietly building into his first couple of games, maybe not as much impact as he would have liked to have. But yeah, today it was just the accumulation of that consistency in his game that he's got over the past month or so. So really good to see that, really happy for him. And yeah, definitely his best game for the year and probably in the last year or two.
I think so. Going to change tack a touch here. Josh, so Cooper Hodge will have a choice between Brisbane's Academy or Hawthorn as to who gets dibs, effectively. So if he picks Brisbane's Academy, we would have to bid on him like any other club, and then if Brisbane want to match him, it can go that way. So think of Nick Blakey, who had to do the same at Sydney or North. Fair to say he made the right decision. And Bailey Scott, who was part of Gold Coast's Academy and father-son to North. Of course, he's at North now, on a wing there. So fingers crossed. I think the one we might be looking at might be Sean Burgoyne's boy.
Oh, yeah,
coming
Kai.
through next year. Yeah, Kai. Yeah, because Peter's son is Rome, one of those, Rome, coming through this year. Con, to answer your question, Josh Weddle, easy. Can follow him everywhere. Could almost be like a defensive tag.
Yeah, Weddle's played on Cameron at the start of this year and maybe even last year as well. So, and I think Cameron hasn't teared us apart terribly recently, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, keep that matchup going.
Now, I don't want to pick on anyone, but Chris, we require explanation. Why? I need to know what you've seen that makes you think Guinea needs to come out of that side. I would love to know. Riley here, Frost goes to Cameron. I disagree. I think he goes to Shannon Neal. Yes, Frost is athletic. I'm totally with you. But the height, the reach, Shannon Neal is a ruckman that he's trying to be a forward. Frosty is just going to blanket him beautifully like he did to Bailey Williams, like he did to Matt Flynn before he got injured. I thought he was better on those than Oscar Allen, but they did nothing. They took their first mark inside 50 came at the 9th minute mark of the last quarter, for crying out loud. But yeah, I'm putting him straight onto Shannon Neal and just go, if Geelong are going to beat us, it's not going to be because a bloke that is in a team that need a ruckman who's not playing in the ruck, that's trying to be a forward, kicks 5 on us, and Frosty will do a great job there, is my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an interesting call. Jasper coming in for Colsha. I mean, if Mitch Lewis is fit, he's obviously going to come in. First of all, it would be cool to see Jasper at some point. I don't think he'd make his debut in the preliminary final when we get there, but it would be good to see him at some point.
Yeah, maybe the last game of the year against North, if we're resting some blokes, or depends on, as you said, depends on finals, that game really. But yeah, it would be nice because he is that. Oh, is he a Tassie boy, or am I getting him confused? No, he's Perth,
Jasper?
isn't he? Yeah, he's Perth, isn't he?
Yeah, Jasper, he's Perth, yeah.
Yeah, righto. Anyways, I would love to see him. He's dominating at Box Hill week in, week out. Just got an insane leg on him. Launched one from 60 metres in the wet this weekend. So, yeah, would love to see him at some point. But I would like to, just when he's ready, I think. We don't need to rush him in, especially if Lewis is fit or anything like that. He's still a couple behind in that line.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, Chris, not happy with Jack. Don't know if I can put that on the screen, but extraordinary. Alrighty. Wouldn't be against bringing in Sarong. Would like to see Denver. Need to see whether he'll be worthy to keep at the Hawks. I don't mind the logic there, Jacob, at all. Sometimes you just got to go, what have you got left? I like the logic there. Geelong is a team, obviously, without Hawkins, that is not going to be throwing anyone to the Wolves, whether it's him, Ethan Phillips, Jai Sarong. He's got, I nearly said Jimmy Blank then. Why the heck would we be keeping him out if his knee was fit? Anyway, ignore that. Brain fade there. I genuinely don't mind it. 6 or 9 marks on the weekend. Been taking a few down there. Look, if it's a test to see what we've got with Denver, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But we can't keep having these tall defenders that are third talls because we've got the best one in the comp. And
yes,
that's
exactly.
my worry with, and that's a little bit of my worry with Ethan Phillips as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, and he was awesome against Port, but that's my concern, that we've got tall defenders who are more interceptors than back shoulder, and you need 2 of them against the good sides. Carlton, for example, how are you going to stop Curnow and Mackay?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I always said it's been a bit unlucky for DGB because he really isn't, as you said, that back shoulder player, that key position defender. He's more of that interceptor. And unfortunately, just about the best intercept defender in the league is ahead of him. So, yeah, really, really unfortunate for Denver. But I think, as the comment said before, I wouldn't mind seeing him get another go at AFL level this year if it falls that way due to injuries or anything like that, because I think he could be a nice one to keep around. But I think there should be a few clubs that would be interested, that may be interested in him. I think he does a good job down at Box Hill, so it would be interesting to see if he maybe gets picked up by someone like a West Coast.
Interesting. Swan Districts boy as well. Back home there, absolutely. So Jimmy Warple getting some love there from Steve. 11 clearances, which I'm not saying this to be derogatory, surprised me a little. And I think it was because he was just so clean at first touch at stoppage. 11 clearances, 11 score involvements, 14 of his possessions were contested, still went at 75%. And for a guy who was so clean below his knees, to not give away any free kicks at stoppage, concerning you've got the bull, if you will, of Harley Reid, who I know is still young, but you've got Elliot Yeo, who was a non-factor in this game at all. Tim Kelly, to think he was a Brownlow fancy at one point is extraordinary to me. I know he just came back in the same as Harley, but still, Jimmy was unreal, and I love the fact that he looks less and less panicked with ball in hand, and he's only throwing that ball onto his foot when he really, really has to, which is becoming less and less throughout games, which is awesome, because it turns out he is a nice kick when he slows down.
Yeah, the knock on his efficiency was definitely there probably towards the start of this year, but he's improved that a lot and been able to get out of those contests a little bit easier and not getting caught as much as well recently, which is good. I'm just trying to look up. Yeah, so 75% disposal efficiency for the day, which, as I said, for him is pretty decent. And because he does have that 69%, I think, disposal efficiency average for the rest of the season. So, yeah, nicely above his average today. And I think that should keep going on for the rest of the year. But, yeah, probably not, as we haven't talked about Warple as much as we thought. I know Tim, fellow Talking Hawks alumni, said he was a big rap for Warple's game today. And, yeah, I think he'll be another one who could feature in our 3 votes for the week.
I think so. The fact that we had 7 blokes today have over 15 touches and kick a goal is just extraordinary. We had 3 blokes have 20 and 2. Whereas we rate these ultra good midfielders and these ultra good players on their ability to have 20 and 1. And that's the joke with Dylan Moore, is he was just your 20 and 1 all the time. Christian Petrarca, I think, has had 3 seasons of doing it. The Bont is doing it this year. I think it's his 4th. Gary Ablett Jr. throughout his career, I think, had 7, which is just stupidly good. Of course, we know how good Gary Ablett Jr. was, but yeah, for Dylan Moore to have 29, took 12 marks to Dylan Moore. If that doesn't tell you how hard he's working, I don't know what will. Yeah. And kicked 2 snags. Jack Ginnivan had 21 and kicked 2. So, come on, Chris, he's not getting dropped for nothing, I promise you. And then Connor McDonald had 21, 9 marks as well at 80% and kicked a couple of snags. Quality of opponent to me is never a good argument in this case, because if it was so easy, everyone would do it. They don't. Yeah. So, extraordinary use of our high half forwards to combine for 71 disposals and 6 goals too. Mm-hmm. That's mental.
Yeah, absolute domination today. And Liam just threw in the group chat before that when we were calling it a training session, he said, "Hey, don't be that rude to Box Hill Hawks, because they would be better than what this West Coast outfit was giving up." And I think I agree.
Yeah. I'm with you. That was not. I'm loving this comment section at the moment. Yeah, Weddle did do a good job on Cameron this year. Almost like someone asked him that in a post-game interview before, and he gave me a bit of a wink and a smile. So points for Daz, but it's not about me. Really hope Sis's shoulder is okay. We think it is. Denver's form, again, it's the depth is thin, as we know, with Jimmy Blank, but we've got to roll with the punches, ride the bumps with a grin, as the best song on the planet says. So, absolutely. Alrighty, so as we roll through, we're getting towards the bottom here, guys. 47 minutes in. We're still sticking around for a little bit, but not too long now. Riley, I'm with you. Mate, I've been on this train so many times. The fact that we could add Josh Battle and Bailey Smith to what we saw today, I'm telling you, 2025, I think we need to get a call to Dingley and just ask him to add another Premiership Cup slot there. Just stick it in there. Beautiful. Number 14. Because if you... Josh Battle, Bailey Smith, and a fit Mitch Lewis, why wouldn't we be top 4? I'm totally not getting ahead of myself, I promise you. I'm not. Well, I would think I'm being conservative, to be honest. I'm saying we should go 23-0 and win the finals. So,
yeah, I think those 2 close losses, one against Collingwood and the obvious one against Port, we win those 2 and we're 3rd. So, just quietly.
Yeah. And well, not that we want to put it on one bloke, but we're very, very grateful that Connor McDonald played well today, because he had some late chances against both of those sides. But it's all about growth. Look at Josh Weddle in that game against Port Adelaide, Collingwood it was, in Gather Round, where he shirked the contest, didn't go as hard as he probably could have. He's used it as a springboard. Look at him now, genuinely taking the PI 55. Is that man. Alrighty. We're going down the bottom here. Let's have a look. We've talked about Sicily. I do apologise that I'm not putting all the comments up. If we find that they are repeating a few times, I am going past them. So I do apologise for that. A lot of Nick Watson here. Bailey would be great for marketing, mate. Can you imagine how good our social media would be next year? I know that's not the important factor.
I know.
But for anyone that watched the Hawks remake The Office intro, my God.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's another sneaky MVP of the year is the Hawks social media team. Massive shout out to them. They're just churning elite content out week in, week out. So good. And that little compilation 7-minute video on YouTube that dropped a few days ago about our season so far, that was awesome. Like, goosebumps type stuff.
You know what I love? I love those that can put their hand up and go, I had some negative thoughts. They're not negative anymore. Well done, Ray. Appreciate this in a massive way. When we're sceptical, we put our hand up. When we're proven to be on another side, Marbior's been awesome. I've done the same with CJ. We're all good here at the moment. The team is progressing well. Absolutely we are. Do we need to give up draft capital for high-priced trades? The Hawks do not want to use their first-round pick as the way it stands right now. I promise you, we do not. And I don't blame us, because if if the picks, no midfielder we're going to get next year or in the 2 years that we want to open our premiership window, no 19-year-old midfielder is going to help us unless it's Harley Reid or Nick Dacos. Sorry, guys, they've already been drafted, right?
Yeah.
So, therefore, we need to go from there. Yes, I'm a massive fan of Josh Smiley. I'm probably an even bigger fan of Jagger Smith. I would still want Bailey for the experience on the outside. So, anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go there. All right. How good was Impey today? Oh, Barry, I reckon he's had a really good year. Lauren, I know you're a fan, so I'm going to let you take this because he's your man.
Well, as I said, before this year, maybe before this year and last year, I was, once he came back from that knee injury, I really didn't think he could return to the form where he was leading, that PCM in that first few games before he did that unfortunate ACL. But from this year, he's been so good, so reliable behind ball, like intercept marking as well, which has been really good. Kicking accuracy has been brilliant. Just another one off our back line that's going probably at over 80% this year. Just amazing work and good turnaround comeback turnaround from that injury that I thought might have, we might never have seen the best of Impey again, but we definitely have.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, yeah, Sean, absolutely, in the mock draft on Dad's Talks Footy, I had us taking Matt Whitlock. So you just got the name a touch wrong there, Sean, but I'll forgive you. At that point, yep, absolutely. I'm totally for him as a back shoulder defender. Harry O'Farrell as well. Jars would be in our top 5. What's so cool about our best and fairest, and I won't shy away from the other draft question that's come through, is that if you had told us what our top 5 would look like in March, you would think we'd finish last, and I mean that with love. But going into a fully fit season at that point, minus Will Day, because I know he was injured at the start, but if you had said to Hawthorn fans, the top 5 in our best and fairest are probably going to be Moore, Scrimshaw, potentially Chol, Jarman Impey, and Jack Scrimshaw, we would look at it and go, what happened? And we could potentially turn around and go, we made finals.
Yeah.
Now, I want to throw a hypothetical out there. Hawthorn fans, would you rather finish top 4, let's say finish 4th in this beautiful hypothetical. We finish 4th. No guarantee of results. We just have a crack from 4th. That's scenario 1. Or we finish 7th and we can guarantee that we beat Essendon, who finished 6th, and in an elimination final, but we lose the next week by 15 goals and we get absolutely smacked. Would you rather just roll the dice from 4th and don't even worry about it? Or do you just want to wreck some Essendon hopes and dreams for this year as we party up the ladder and keep the meme going?
Yeah, I think it's got to be 7th. Like seeing us win a final, these young...
This is the best one! Yeah, beat Essendon! Oh, that's the best.
Yep.
Sorry, go on, Lauren. That was rude of me.
A lot of love for 7th in there. I think,
Oh, isn't it? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Just, seeing those teams, this team, this young group win a final, get that confidence, and winning over Essendon too. Tick, 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 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm looking forward to going through those. Stephen, I'm going to do this for you. I would flip them the way that you've written it. So I'm a Christian Moraes fan. The boy with the basketball background. Murphy Reed's carnival has been insane. Had another 31 and 8 clearances for Vic Metro today. And I'm just putting this out there, and I know that there's probably not going to be too many under-18s nuffies here. This Vic Metro team might be one of the best Vic Metro teams of all time at their draft point. Not for what they went and turned themselves into, but just as a team, this Vic Metro team is nuts. And Toby Travalier is a rebounding halfback I'm a massive fan of as well. But anyway, Jars would be in our top 5 in the BNF. I would probably agree with you, Darren. Without sitting down and analysing every game, it just sounds right to me. I like it.
Yeah, Frost is another one that could even sneak into that top 5 as well. Just keep on keeping on every week. So, yeah, it's going to be such a good watch, that PCM. Going to be so close, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. Alrighty. Should we go and get the Whitlock brothers, both of them? I'd probably say no. I think I'd rather have Matt than Jack. I do like them both, though. Holy Moses, you weren't wrong about the 7th.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a lot of them.
This is... I have not found anyone say, nah, we'll roll the dice from 4th. Wreck Bombers anyway. Farm Essendon over. I love this. A lot. A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. No, well, Tim, come on. Now that's we don't play the Splinters game here. We either keep the greatest meme going, or we roll the dice. Chris, I think if we beat Geelong, I think we can play finals. No, you're thinking too small, Chris. It's right now we're booked into a prelim, mate. Come on, you got to jump on board here. This is we're 7-1 from the last 8. We can't be thinking bottom range here, my friend. We are staring down at the competition, daring them to run up the hill with us. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming from me, Captain Skeptical over here. My goodness.
Yeah.
I don't mind this from Ray. Essendon, I reckon their own dreams. I like it.
Fingers crossed.
This is so good. I'm not making it sound like I'm Richmond game, great for finals experience. Yeah, I agree with that crowd, for sure. For sure. Alrighty, let's keep rolling through here towards the bottom. Sean, I love it, especially after Bombers were so rude to you after at halftime and at full time. Well, Sean, you know what we do there, Sunshine, is you tell them, look, 16 flags is cute, mate, but considering that coloured TVs weren't out yet when the last time you were good, how about we move on to the present? And the present times, you stink. So, we're going beautifully in that regard. I feel like we've gotten way off track from a 61-point win, but if that doesn't tell you how bad that game was to watch, I don't know what does. So, anywho, we've nearly hit the hour mark. I think it's about time we wrap up. Steve, surely Daz doesn't skip this. Skip what, my friend? I don't know what I'm meant to be skipping, but okay, sure.
Not sure.
Steve, that's unless you've got a rope there, my friend. No idea what's going on. But what I want to ask the crew, the commenters, I nearly went into my work phrases then. Commenters, BOG, one name. Don't need your top 3, don't need your top 5, but your BOG, and we are going to see whether the Talking Hawks MVP matches up when that drops tomorrow. Shout out to Brooke, who's been giving us a massive hand with our articles lately. So instead of the BOG, because I'm going to leave that to the beautiful people, Lauren, I want your underrated player. Who stood out? Whether we've talked about them today or not, it's not underrated in terms of the chat. Underrated in terms of how they played. Given we're going the BOGs from the audience, who's the guy that was outstanding today that maybe won't get the love in the MVP but deserves some love to end the show?
Yeah, I think Massimo D'Ambrosio is one of them. He did some really nice work. That mark, was it against Darling or someone?
It was, yep.
Yeah, Darling nearly flattened him, and he just took a really strong mark. He did that a few times, and just kicking on A+ again. So I think he's definitely underrated. Maybe miss out in the votes, but definitely one that should get a shout out. And just rolling very nicely through this season. Like he started very well against Essendon, but ever since then, just an elite pickup and definitely underrated in the sense of the best pickups this season. You know, we've thrown around Grundy, who's probably the standout at the moment, Ginnivan and a few others in the league, but Massimo definitely an underrated pickup that's really bolstered this side.
I agree in a massive way. I'm going to give love to a bloke that had 26 disposals in this game, and we didn't basically mention him once throughout this chat. Will Day. Can have some love. I think yes, only 8 of those were kicks, but in terms of the chat, I'll go with Will Day. A lot of Dylan Moore love, some Connor Nash love coming through, Nuke, Warple, all of those. I feel like we're going to talk about a lot of them throughout, not only 6 points, but the MVP as well. Lauren, we are going to wrap up here. You've been extraordinary as always. You can take the 3 votes for tonight. The comment section is going to grab the 2. And look, let's be honest, Daz is just going, so he can slot in for one, I reckon, at this point in time. But we finished round 16. The Hawks have won 7 of the last 8. We're on our way to a prelim. If you're not a member at this point, jump jump on board because you can try and get finals tickets. Surely they'll let us sit on the roof at the G or something like that. We'll pack this joint out. The Bombers are going nowhere. We're going to smack the Cats next week. The commenters have been awesome. Lauren, so have you. To everyone out there, I hope this ended an awesome weekend for you, or potentially not. Fingers crossed it was the cherry on top of your week, and you are able to now go into an awesome fresh week as we get ready to take on the Cats at GMHBA Stadium. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Lauren, enjoy your week. I don't know what you'll be doing TH-wise for the week, but stay safe yourself. To the commenters out there, look after yourselves. We'll see you next time, and as per usual, go the Hawks.